This is BMW's R9T Scrambler. It's the second model in the new heritage range of machines from BMW, a range that are essentially designed to be customised. So you buy the machine like this as it sort of comes out of the crate, although this one's actually got an Akrapovic exhaust on it. So BMW has added that to it. And then from there you can start to customise it. There's some really interesting touches along those lines. You can actually take that rear pillion subframe off with just basically unbolt it. BMW's changed the electrics in these heritage models so that if you want to change the headlight, tail light, indicators, that's actually much easier to do than on some of the other bikes with more advanced, more integrated electronics. But out of the crate, this motorcycle is designed to be a fair bit of fun. It's 110 horsepower. It's a bit over 200 kilos, about 220 I think off the top of my head. That's not exactly a powerhouse, but it's got plenty of mid-range, so it makes it a lot of fun. It's a good bottom end, plenty of mid-range, and the top end's not terrible. Now, out of the crate, you don't know how many revs you're doing because there's no tacho, but there is one available as an option. Comes standard with just a single speedo with an LCD, which has got trip meters and bits and pieces like that. So the engine is 1170cc horizontally opposed twin. Fairly standard fare from BMW. They've been building horizontally opposed twin cylinder engines for about 3 or 4 millennia, I think. And this particular one is the slightly older style air-cooled one. It doesn't have the water cooling of some of the GS's. So the engine is really nice to use, but interestingly the transmission is possibly the best transmission I've ever used on a Boxer twin. It's really slick, really nice to use. It's still got a single plate dry clutch, which traditionally have had a very narrow take-up. Now they have used a hydraulic actuation, so it is much nicer to use in that regard. You could say it's a little bit heavy, but at least it looks really good and it's got fully adjustable levers. So I really love the way this bike is set up, the engine's set up. Now the riding position is quite upright. You do lean forward a little bit into the handlebars, and the foot peg position's a little bit more relaxed than the original R9T. And it's a very, very comfortable riding position, except personally I didn't like the seat much. BMW thinks it's comfortable. I reckon it needs an air hawk or a sheepy hollow sheepskin. Now the suspension on the machine is fairly conventional, and it's okay. I mean, this bike is being marketed as the Scrambler, so it's got off-road ability. And yes, I've taken it up some dirt roads and it's fun and it's easy to ride. 19-inch front wheel, so it's nice and stable. The 19-inch front wheel makes it slow steering on the road, but that's okay. You get used to that after a day or two. It's got 5mm of more travel than the standard R9T, so it's no dirt bike and it's not a GS, but it does have that little bit more off-road capability than a standard R9T out of the crate. Now you can change the cast alloy wheels for spoked wheels. You can have it optioned out of the factory like this one with traction control, ASC, automatic stability control, BMW call it. The rest of us call it traction control. That's switchable, so you can switch off the ABS, you can switch off the traction control, which is essential because I rode it on a dirt road with the traction control switched on first time, and every time you crack the throttle open, the traction control kicks in. So you do need to be able to switch that off if you know what you're doing off-road. So it's a $20,000 package. It's under $20,000, and then you choose your options, choose your accessories. There's a full range of lots of bits and pieces from BMW, and they encourage you to modify it up and make it your own. And for that, I think it's a really good machine. I think it'll last for decades. You can buy it, ride it standard as it is. You can start customising it whenever you like. You could grow old with a motorcycle like this. It really is really nice to ride. It's got almost no real failings. I mean, it does depend on what you're looking for. If you want to hark back to the old R80 GS, the original adventure bike, it's not that. It's still a bit heavy for that sort of thing. It doesn't have that suspension performance. If you want to get serious off-road, you still need to look at a GS. But if you look at the standard R9T and you think, it's not quite for me, this machine might be. definitely worth going out and having a test ride at your BMW dealer if you like the style and if you like having a machine that you can customise and build it up to exactly what you want in the future.